You're listening to the Into the Woods podcast with your hosts, Dermot and Michael. Let's get into it.
Wonderful chase by Hinshaw.
Cox again. I cannot believe it. Daicos nearly runs out of room. He's fouled.
Jamie Elliott has won the game of footy for this famous club.
Slap for Nick Daicos. He's going to be the hero. The little champ is going to kick the winner.
Here's the Degoe moment. He unloads. Bang! You need your stars. And Collingwood stars just went and wrenched the cup back.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. For Spotify and Apple listeners, a 5-star rating will be greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit the bell icon on any of those platforms to be notified as soon as new episodes are released. You can find us on X at Into the Woods Pod and on Instagram at Into the Woods Pod 10. Thanks for your ongoing support by helping the podcast grow. Go Pies! Welcome to the Into the Woods podcast, brought to you by mattsprintshop.com.au. I'm your host Dermot, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking about all things Collingwood. Once again, I'm joined by Michael. How are you, Mick?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Well, just before we start, Mick, I just want to put out an apology to our Apple Podcast listeners. Our last episode, the season preview one, was unfortunately delayed by 4 days. That wasn't our fault. We posted it straight away. Apple Podcast, absolutely fucking useless. No idea why it took 4 days for it to pop up on the app. But yeah, I apologize. It's there now if you want to listen to it. And hopefully it doesn't happen again. Hopefully you guys are getting this episode today. If that ever happens again, just, you know, if you feel like it's delayed and it's not popping up, just jump over to YouTube or Spotify and you should get it there. Those two platforms are very reliable. Anyway, go on.
Well, you asked me to jump onto Apple just to test it. I hadn't had an Apple. I hadn't downloaded the Apple app before, but I was interested to see that we're classed as explicit on on Apple. We've got an explicit rating. Now I know there was a time last year where I wasn't wearing pants for a few of the podcasts, but that was a medical condition. How are we explicit?
Wasn't there a time where you wanted to do the podcast topless because you had some weird rash under your arm?
It was very warm and it was irritating the rash.
All right. Footy's back, Mick. Footy is back. You can just feel it when, you know, Carlton are choking and the Pies are winning, and it's just a beautiful time of year. How do you feel after last night? Wasn't that bloody great?
It was an unconvincing win. It was, yeah, well, we'll get into the game, obviously, but good to get the 4 points.
Oh, yeah.
Unconvincing to me.
But if you ask Kane Corns, we were absolutely no chance of winning that game. So it's the win of the century, isn't it?
Yeah, well, apparently. But I think it was as much the Saints blew their lines as we did secure the win. I think there was a few worrying signs there. It didn't do anything to reassure me about how we're going to go this year.
Well, there are a few little things that I would like to touch on later. We'll start with the positives, though, because it was a win. And I need to start with this, Mick. It's very important that we start with this. I was already fist pumping 1 second into the game. Literally 1 second. Not even that. Before the siren started, I was fist pumping.
Yeah.
October 19, 2025, Mick.
October 19, 2022. Oh, yes. Yes, you did.
Our last episode of season 2, after the trade period, I put my best 23 together and I said that I want Harry Perryman to be a run with player. Fast forward to episode 1 of this season, I then repeat myself. And I think I repeated myself every single episode through the preseason. Harry Perryman to be a run with player. I said I wanted him on NAS as well. I haven't heard anyone else say it. I don't want to toot my own horn. I had not heard anyone else say it. I need to ask you right here, right now, Mick.
Well, this
Does-
reminds me. This reminds me of
no-
Einstein, because Einstein was saying, "I said it. The theory of relativity. Nobody else said it. This day. How long have you got the timer? You said you were going to use a timer. How long did it take before you got to yourself? What, 80 seconds, 90 seconds?
I need to know, Mick. Does Craig McRae listen to the Into the Woods podcast? 'Cause
Well,
no
it's
one
hard.
else had
It's
said
hard.
it. No one else had said it.
Hold on.
No one else.
No, when you asked me, I put forward a couple of theories. Crisp or Perryman. Perryman has played that role before.
No.
It's hardly like he said send Billy Frampton to him, and they did it, and Frampton beat him.
Harry Perryman, most of his career has been a defender.
Yeah,
So,
but no,
okay.
he
If it's
played-
such an obvious idea, Mick, tell me who else said it. Tell me one other person that said it.
Well, I said it. I
Oh,
just
no,
told
you didn't. I brought it up, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. When do you ever come to this podcast with your own ideas?
It's supposed to be impersonation.
It was me.
It was hardly
It was
surprising.
me. I won Collingwood that
Okay.
game. Craig
Yes.
McRae listened
All
to me,
right.
and I've got us to
Let's-
4 points. You are welcome,
Yes.
Magpie Army. You are
Yes.
welcome.
It isn't it good to put that stupid debate. I'm sick of the media just making up these debates to give them something to talk about. Now, we refer to the Nick Daicos Naz debate. That was always ridiculous. That is at least 12 months, if not 18 months off a serious debate. Okay, Daicos has done it for 4 years. He's done it in finals. He's done it in grand final. Naz moved into the midfield halfway through last year. Had an outstanding game against the bottom four side. They got everybody talking about him. Had an outstanding game against Essendon, an undermanned Essendon, in a practice game. And
I think he's
suddenly
played
they
more good football than that
and
practice game.
but on the back of that, suddenly, what's Hinkley? Hinkley's watching him in a practice game against Essendon. Essendon reserves basically, and Hinkley says, "I think he's better than Daicos." Based on this game against the Essendon reserves in a practice match. Let's get serious. It was all media driven for them to have something to talk about. Nonsense.
Yeah, well,
absolute nonsense. And it was proven to be nonsense as well.
We know that Hinkley's a moron. He's the longest serving coach without making a grand final, so who cares about his
I don't think he's a
opinion?
moron. But anyway, we'll keep.
Well,
we'll keep on
this has
going.
happened before. Remember, Mike Sheen wrote Pendlebury off after a preseason game about
Yeah, I was
8
thinking
years
about
ago.
that.
We'll talk
thinking
about
about
Pendles a little bit later because I don't want to move off this Perryman thing.
Oh, God. I
No,
thought
no.
I distracted you. I thought I was able to change the
Well,
subject.
it's one of the stories of the night. No, I'm going to start talking about the fact that it was my
Oh,
idea.
good, 'cause I thought I would have had to-
which it was.
I thought I was going to have to go back to me not wearing pants last year. But
Well,
anyway.
it's up to you. I can either talk about the Perryman
go
being
ahead.
my idea or the BMW. You choose.
Oh, the BMW, didn't that work well?
Oh no, Charlie West wasn't there.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no
made all the
BMW.
difference.
God,
Yeah,
don't talk shit
But
about the
we-
BMW, Mick.
But we've got problems in the forward line with our key position players. But anyway, keep on going. What are you saying?
Finally, though, this is what we need. We need a run with player. It may not have to be every single week, but we just need a good one there available to activate whenever we need. Because we've spoken about, probably since we started this podcast, the amount of gun midfielders that take a hold of us and single-handedly pull their team over the line. Like, speak of Zach Merritt, Hugh McCluggage, the list goes on and on. Nazaya, he didn't have a disastrous game. He had 19 disposals and a goal, although most of that was in the first half, and that goal wasn't actually Perryman's fault. That was when he ran onto the ground, and I don't think either Perryman wasn't on that side of the ground or he was still on the bench. But just that game from Nazaya, if he was left to be run around on his own all game, he would have had 35 and kicked 3. If he had no attention, the way that Zach Merritt does every single time that we play Essendon, we won by 2 goals. So that there is literally the difference. 19 and 1, 35 and 3, we win by 2 goals. We probably lose that by 3 or 4 goals if Naz is allowed to run around and do what he wants. Respect the Craig McRae because it is hard sometimes to adjust the way that you coach. He comes from years and years and years in a Richmond system, which was a very successful system. They didn't tag at Richmond. They never tagged. And it worked for them. And it's worked for Fly so far in his first 4 years at the club. There has been moments that I've spoken about where it has been frustrating, but overall, we've won a premiership. We've made 2 other prelims, so we have been successful without running a tag. But at some point, you need to change. And I'm absolutely rapt to see that he's pulled that trigger. Is it something that we do every week? Like I said, probably not. But there are certain matchups that I think Perryman will be really well suited to. And just looking ahead to next week, just very quickly, we play the Crows. Jordan Dawson, clearly their best midfielder. I think Perryman would have been a good matchup for Rankin if he was there. He's obviously not, because like Naz, Rankin can push forward, and Perryman could have played on him as well, as he was resting forward. Not sure if Dawson is the right man for Perryman. He's a bit big for him, maybe. But what do you think?
Well, if we want to deploy that role, we're well served players for different types of midfielders. If you want to lock down on an Errol Gordon or a Viney, where we've got Sidebottom who's done that role in the past. I think he's still up to it now. If you've got somebody like a Naz, medium-sized midfielder, he's tall but he's light. You got Perryman, and for the bigger body guys, I reckon Crisp is the perfect guy. So I reckon Crisp would be the perfect guy to send to a Dawson if they wanted to play that role. They wanted to deploy that role.
Yeah. Well, Crisp was always the second guy on my list in terms of someone that I would like to see turned into a tagger, especially because I didn't know what role he was going to play, and he actually slotted into the backline pretty well last night. Crisp.
He played a good second half, I thought. Didn't notice him too much in the first half,
but I would still be tempted to go with Perryman at least to start with Dawson, just to see if he can go with the bigger boys like that, because he's not a small fella, Perryman. Like he's not Dawson size, but. No. He's played as an undersized defender for quite a while, so he could be able to run with someone like a Dawson. I'd be tempted to just have a look at it.
Yeah, or maybe do it if you get like if it was somebody like a Patrick Cripps. Like I like the way we've played Patrick Cripps in the past, which was we've quite often played Pendlebury on him at stoppages, and then Pendlebury would expose him. But if it's a big guy like that. Maybe that's getting a bit big for Perryman. Maybe a Jack Crisp who's a bit heavier. Yeah.
Sorry, am I right in saying that in the qualifying final, did Ned Long do a job on Dawson? I think he did, didn't he?
He did.
And he did well. Yeah. So he's another option.
Yeah, he did for a quarter or two, as I recall. Yeah.
All right,
but he can't really go. He can't go back if Dawson goes forward. Yeah. So a Crisp could go with him the whole everywhere basically.
Mm-hmm. We'll move on now, and we'll talk about Pendles. Now, he was fucking unreal. 38 years of age, Mick. This guy is 38 years of age, equaling Michael Tuck's record.
Yeah, before you wax lyrical too much, I just want to dampen this with a voice of reason. Ross Lyon, and I quote, Pendles had one kick in the first half. Yeah, but how about all those handballs he got, Ross, which was on in goals? Don't worry about those. Who cares about handballs? Like, Rob Barassi just won a premiership 60 years ago with using handball, but not important apparently, according to Ross Lyon.
Well, I think I said to you after the game, he's just still a bit bitter because, 16 years ago, Pendles was ripping it up on grand final day against his team, and now all these years later, he's still doing the same thing. Must be pretty frustrating to have no answers for a guy after 16 years of research. So.
Well, more than that, he's been playing well against the St Kilda longer. But another pearl from Ross Lyon's press conference. Sorry to jump in, and this will be the title to our show.
I'll be the judge of that.
Daicos played his part. Apparently, according to Ross Lyon, Daicos played his part. 41 possessions. Played his part.
Don't worry, we'll have a special 10-minute section later on where we just talk about Nick Daicos, I reckon. Pendlebury.
Yes, back to Pendlebury.
26 disposals and 5 goal assists from 55% time on ground. Yeah, he didn't hurt us, did he, Ross? He didn't. Oh, sorry, he didn't hurt you guys. No, that was one of the best games I've seen Pendlebury play in years. And that's saying something because he hasn't been a dud over the last few years, has he? He's had some pretty good ones. But that was impressive. And
that's a big call because he, as you say, he hasn't many dud ones.
26 disposals, 5 goal assists from 55% time on ground. He spent a little bit over half the game on the ground, and he did that.
But when you say years, how many years are you talking? Because he got 11 possessions in the last. He got 11 possessions in the last quarter of the grand final.
Okay.
To win us the
I think you're
premiership.
taking this point a little bit too seriously. I said one of the best games I've seen him play in the last few years. Didn't say the best or the top three. It's in the top 5. Let's say it's top 5 of the last 5 years.
Not important, but I think you said the best. But anyway,
we'll rewind and have a look later on. But he was outstanding. And he said after the game, because all pre-season, like, we've been spending the last 2 months predicting what the hell we're going to do, and we got no answers in the preseason because we didn't play anywhere near to our best team in the preseason matches. But Pendlebury was one of the players that we were debating: will he play halfback? Will he play midfield? Spends the whole preseason training off halfback, but then in his one preseason match gets bulk CBAs, and you're thinking, well, what's going on here? Which one is he? Nah, he's neither. He's a half-forward flanker who plays half the game. And he said after the game, Pendles, that he did not spend 1 second, not 1 second training with the forwards this preseason. So it's funny how things work out. But I don't know. It's easy to get carried away after this game. Like, we got carried away after the qualifying final when we saw him go behind the ball, and he was fantastic then. But he could be a really, really good half-forward flanker. He starts there, pushes up as an extra mid, but then can also set up 5 goals, as we saw. Could that be a potential role? Or is it simply he's so good everywhere, we just place him wherever the game needs? Like, if we're getting smashed, put him behind the ball. If we're getting beaten in clearances, put him in the midfield. So what do you reckon?
I think so. You just break glass option where needed, I think. Yeah.
Oh, thanks for that, Mick.
Oh, it's okay. Well,
I thought you were going to add more than that. I've talked for the last minute.
No. I was thinking about retracting some, let alone adding more. Yeah. Just put him where you need him. Because as you say, you can play anywhere really well. Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, really well. Can I take this hat off now? Have we?
No.
That's
matchprintshot.com.au. He's he don't disrespect him.
No,
why replace it with a black hat?
I'm actually drawing attention to it. That any publicity is good publicity. Isn't that what they say? That's just not my type of thing.
We're going to lose our sponsor if you keep this up, Mick.
Okay.
You seem very concerned.
So, yeah.
Rightio. Dan Houston. So he's one of the other most talked about players this preseason. We finally got a proper look at him. He shared that half-back line with Josh, and we'll talk about Josh a little bit later as well. And when I first noticed that, I thought, oh, geez, this isn't good. But he was probably our number one distributor down there. I know Josh got a lot of the ball, but in terms of kick-ins and controlling that back half, it was Dan. Dan was number one. And it was either his best game for the club or his best game since his first game for the club against Port Adelaide last year. He ended up having the 28 disposals and 629 metres gained, which was the second most for the game. His kick-in overall it was very nice. There were a few little turnovers, but you're going to get that because he's the guy that's trying to pull off, I guess, the miracle kick to try and get us going, a bit like what Nick does. So you got to take the good with the bad. That's why he is such a good player. I feel like that this is the year that Dan Houston pops as a Collingwood player, similar to what Lockie Schultz did last year. We kind of lost hope after his first season, then he came good.
I didn't. Yeah, again, we've had this discussion before, but
most Collingwood fans.
Yeah, I think they're mostly wrong, most of them.
Well, yeah, yes, we were wrong, yes.
His first year was a competent year, I thought.
It wasn't, because you're all about the stats and not the eye test, Mick.
Oh, the eye test. I think your eye test needs glasses. But anyway.
But yeah, Dan Houston looks to be able to share that role with Josh a little bit better. Then again, his first game last year, we were thinking he was going to be a star, and he dropped off. But it just feels different this time. It just feels different. What did you make of his game?
Well, yeah, look, really, it would have been nice if he slotted that goal.
That's unlike him. Even last year when he's playing poorly, he would slot that every time.
Yeah, he just didn't get near it. But it just begs the question, was it his fault last year or was it a coaching thing? Did we use him correctly? And based on last night, slightly different role, I think we didn't use him correctly last year.
I think it's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. He needs to take some responsibility for his performance.
Oh, some responsibility, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but a lot of it. You got to say it's 50-50.
I think we got him across because of how he had been playing at Port Adelaide. The fact that he's a two-time All-Australian. So we get him across, and then we change his role. Like we got you here because of how you play, and now we're going to change how you play. And they stuck with it the whole year. Like even when it became apparent that this isn't working, they stuck with it. And now
they
hopefully
did
it
it.
looks
They
like
ended
they've
up
changed
moving
it.
him up to a bloody wing at one point.
Oh yeah, but still not back to the role he played at
Yeah,
Port
that's
Adelaide.
what that's
exactly.
what I mean.
Yeah.
That role wasn't
Yeah.
good.
No.
So yeah, I got high hopes for Dan. So straight away off the bat, yeah, we won by 2 goals, but I'm just happy with some of these changes. Dan Houston's role, Perryman is a run with player. I'm seeing at least there's some kind of change. There's some kind of change, and we needed that desperately. The change that we probably didn't get that we did want was Josh Daicos as a midfielder. Now, as I speak, I'm currently looking up to see if he actually had any CBAs at all, because I don't think he did. And I'm going down the list, and he had 2. He had 2 for the game. So he's not a midfielder. He's a halfback still. I guess with Pendlebury not playing back, that meant that we could have Houston and Josh down there. I wonder if that will change, whether Pendlebury moves back there eventually, and that means Josh does get more midfield time. But he still played a great game. I have no issues with Josh Daicos as a backman. I think he plays that role fantastically. He did last year. It was just the thing I was worried about was him taken away from Dan Houston, which didn't happen last night, so that's good. But also, I think we need someone like Josh in the midfield too.
Well, keep in mind we got beaten in stoppages. They significantly beat us in inside 50s. So
Do you have the stats for that? I don't actually have any of the stats for that.
look, no, not on hand, but it was significant.
Oh.
They significantly beat us for inside 50s.
Clearances 31-29 in favour of St Kilda. Centre clearances 15-8 in favour of St Kilda.
That's,
so the overall clearances wasn't too bad. They beat us quite easily in centre.
Keep in mind they haven't got a great midfield. St Kilda. We're going to come across better midfields than St Kilda's. There, and I said before the game, I think this is one of the midfields in the league we could actually beat them in this game, and yet we didn't.
Yeah, they smashed us in inside 50s. You
Exactly.
are correct. 63-40.
Yeah,
That makes our defensive effort. We'll talk about it soon. That makes they were great.
really, really, really good. But had they converted and they. Like our defence played really well, but they still had their chances, St Kilda, and they fluffed their lines. It's probably a game. If they'd had a bit of composure, they probably should have won by 4 goals. Like I said, it wasn't a great win. This one. It's great to grab the 4 points, but
I didn't. This might sound ridiculous. I didn't really notice the inside 50 difference at the time. It wasn't something that I was really thinking about. It didn't stick out to me. I don't know. But it was there. And guys, like our undersized defense, no Darcy Moore, no Jeremy Howe.
Yeah.
These guys stood up. Isaac Quainer and Braden Maynard especially. Yeah. Jack Crisp, we touched on before, played a solid game too. But Bruzzy and IQ, they played out of their skins. Whenever we need those 2 guys to play a little bit taller, they stand up, don't they? They're great servants of the club. I think, Bruzzy had I don't have the stats here, but he had 27. I remember that off the top of my head.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
It was, and I think IQ, 23 as well. And lots of step marks between the two of them.
Yeah.
Quainer's
marking was great. Quainer's marking was great. It was back to, he improved to 24. I'm not sure what happened in 24, whether they'll ever come out in the wash his season, but his marking was back to 23 level.
He must have been injured. Because he came third in the Copeland last year, and he looks like he's back to that form again this year. It's just weird that he had a one-off bad year, but it wasn't just a bad year; it was an atrocious year.
Exactly,
not playing a good game.
Well, while we're on Quaynor for a second, I tipped him as an Australian this year. I think he's
did off to a good start, Mick.
Yeah, good. But can he be our Ed Richards? Ed Richards was a halfback flanker, moved into midfield. By the way, it still kills me seeing that guy play for the Dogs. The AFL universe is unbalanced with him not being a Pie, given his history. He should be a Collingwood player. I don't know. I'm not saying rules are wrong, but it just doesn't feel right. But anyway, can Quaynor be our Ed Richards? Could he move into the midfield?
He could. I think they would be different types of midfielders. He doesn't really move the way that Richards does, but I can see.
I'm not saying they're exactly the same player, but can he move in there?
Are you talking
a similar effect.
So you're talking about a halfback flanker turning into a midfielder?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I think that he could make it as a midfielder. We just don't really have anyone to replace him down back at the moment. He's crucial to us.
No, we've got a lot of halfback flankers, but
he's a bit more
quality.
defensive than that. He's a defensive halfback flanker. He can run and carry. He's a beautiful kick. He can intercept mark. He can basically do it all. He can play taller if we need, as we just saw.
Yeah.
It's different to bringing in a guy like a Will Parker. Like he's
Yeah, but Ed, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Ed Richards was a very good halfback flanker as well. So they took a bit of a risk taking him out of there.
Yeah.
And then now he's one of the best on balls in the league.
Good move, Bevo. Good move.
Yeah.
I tell you who I didn't rate last night from the back line. I think a lot of people were talking up this guy's game, but fuck, he was shaky. Billy Frampton. Biggest fan. Biggest Billy
Who's
Frampton
talking
fan.
up his game?
I've seen people online. The commentators are saying a couple of things about him.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker.
Oh, I think stat-wise, he was actually decent. But the eye test, Mick, the old Lockie Schultz eye test, no good. Like the best thing about Frampton last year is when he got the ball, he knew his limitations. It's like he forgot that last night. It's like he came into this season thinking he was Harris fucking Andrews and he could do whatever he wanted down there. So many crucial turnovers, some of them that didn't hurt us in the end, but they easily could have as well.
But letting his opponent fly for marks without flying with them and that type of thing.
He needs to do better. He is our sole key defender down there. He needs to step up. He can't be having games like that. He needs to step up and hopefully, like he's.
He's a limited player. He's a good
so he needs
heart,
to know that.
He's a good heart and soul player.
100%.
He's never going to be a star. He's good. Yeah.
No, but he needs to know his limitations.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't know his limitations last night.
He gave away a few free kicks. One of them was, and the commentator said it was unlucky, and it was. I was actually watching the game again this morning. The one where he broke a tackle, but he was like the two tackles almost came simultaneously. He was able to break one, which was hardly a tackle anyway. The guy hardly lay a hand on him, and he was immediately tackled again by I think it was Higgins, and Jesus, that was unlucky. Like he didn't really ever have a chance, but yeah.
And then there was that other one. The fend off got him in the neck. It's like,
that was.
What are you doing?
Oh yeah,
they were saying that one was unlucky too, was it?
That was unlucky.
The neck is high, and they look. I don't like Mitch Owen, but the commentators are saying that he was putting it on. You try and get him bloody pushed in the neck. He wasn't putting it on. Like, he made sure the umpire saw it. Well, did he, or did he just get fucking hit in the neck? Right in the throat.
But what was it in the neck, or was it going to the top of the chest? I thought it was the top of the chest.
It was the throat. He got him in the throat. Like, and this is I hate the umpires. Like that decision.
Oh, didn't they have a bad night? Like,
they always have a bad night. What are you talking about?
Yeah, both sides though copped it. Both sides copped it. Like Maynard holding the ball 2 meters out in front of goal when he got away with that. Like,
Okay, I'm not as angry about that. Well, it went in that way, but I don't think that one was as wrong as what people were saying. Like, he thought he marked it. You see that all the time, whether it's right or not. The amount of times you see a player take a mark, they think it's a mark, but it's actually touched or not 15 or something. They get tackled straight away. Yeah, it's a ball up. You see it all the time.
It would have been unlucky, but do you take into the account a player's misinterpretation of the play?
Whether that's right or not, it happens all the time. All the time. Yeah. And it was only because it was close and it was in the goal square. That's the only reason why it's getting talked about now. I don't know. What else have we got to talk about? Oh, actually, no, we'll hold off on Nick. Because it's going to be a long conversation, Michael. It's going to be a long conversation. Let's talk about Geordie first.
Oh, well, let's not talk about Nick a lot because we talk about him all the time. People know what.
No, we don't.
He played well. He played
no.
game.
We don't talk about him all the time because you do this all the time. Whenever he plays well, I say I want to talk about him, and you say let's not talk about him. You're a disrespectful hater.
No, we've just said it all that is to be said.
So we're never going to talk about Nick Daicos again because he's always good.
We can acknowledge his great game, but to go into detail, we're just repeating ourselves. But anyway, yeah, we'll do it if you want. Yeah.
Do you reckon he's getting the 3 Brownlow votes? They've got the stats now.
I see somebody online suggested the Cripps might just pip him for the 3 Brownlow votes.
If not Cripps, it'll be Lockie Neal or Matt Rowell.
Yeah. Oh, actually, KO, as usual, started buffering really badly in the last quarter. And I persisted with it for a while, but I just couldn't take it anymore. So I changed it over to Channel 7 and I watched their last 10 minutes plus the post game. Do you know who did Fox give best on ground to?
Nick.
Nick.
I think, yeah.
Channel 7 gave it to Degoe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Jordan Degoe. He
Interesting.
played a good game.
He was a great Geordie. He was, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So you're
funny
talking about who would take the 3 Brownlow votes. Apparently, according to Channel 7, Degoe would take them.
honestly, I'm not even sure if I had to go in my top 3. I think I'd go Nick, Perryman, Pendles.
Yep.
Or Nick, Pendles, Perryman. Those 3, I'm not sure which one. Nick first and then toss a coin between Perryman and Pendles.
Yeah, Josh played well. And
Josh,
Schultz
36 disposals. Houston. Yeah. Geordie's in the mix. Schultz. It's funny because we're just talking about him being a whipping boy, Lockie Schultz in 2024. He's not far off being my favourite player these days. It's a remarkable turnaround. Like, Nick's my fave. Lockie Schultz is a top 3 player for mine in terms of my favourite. I remember you've always been a fan, Mick. Even in his Freo days, you described him when he came to Collingwood. You described him as the forward version of Brayden Maynard, and I think you're spot on. He's a fucking animal, isn't he? An animal, Lockie Schultz. It's funny what confidence can do. He's playing with confidence now. Like, he was playing with the world on him and just abusing him and hating him in 2024. You could see his confidence.
And that was just Dermot.
And that was just me. I love him as the high half forward, rolling up the ground. His tackle pressure. He kicks goals now. He sets up goals. I'll stop now. I'll let you have a go because you've been his biggest fan for quite some time, and he's just getting better and better, isn't he?
Yeah. He just hard at it, does the simple things well, tries his guts out. He's just competent across the board. He's never going to be a champion. He is not a champion. But yeah, he like I said, he's just really the Maynard of the forward line. Heart and soul player. Competent in everything he executes, gives 110%. Yeah, I think he like his first season. I think he got in the vicinity of 90 tackles when everyone was bagging him. He got 90 tackles, and 2020. I know the eye test and everything, Dermot, but still 90 tackles is 90 tackles. 23 goals or so. So yeah.
When he was announced to be in our leadership group a few weeks ago, I think I teared up. It was one of the best days of my life. One of the best days of my life. He deserves it. That man is the definition of leader.
What can you say?
Speaking of leader, let's go back to Nick. I know we've had this conversation a lot.
I'm just picturing your wedding in about a year's time, Dermot, when you start tearing up on there, only to be revealing that you're reminiscing about when Lockie Schultz got into the leadership group. Jesus. Yeah, what were we going to say? Sorry.
So Nick Daicos, I'm not even talking about the way he played, 41 disposals, 844 metres gained, Nick doing Nick things, but he's our captain, isn't he? He captained the team last night, and he should captain every week. I'm sorry, Darcy Moore, but this man is our leader. Like, on field, he is the leader of this team. It's just, why are we holding back? This is Nick Daicos' team.
Well, I'm about to blow my own trumpet, Dermot style with Perryman, but I called for this about 6-7 weeks into the 2024 season.
Yeah, it's probably a bit too early then.
No, it wasn't too early.
He was still 20 at the time.
It doesn't matter. He's a born leader. I've seen guys like Carey and Kernahan take on leadership roles at that age, and they were great captains for a decade, 12 years. He's in that category. Yeah. He would have eaten it up with a spoon. The guy could have played senior football when he's probably 16, 17. So 20 isn't old for him to be a captain. Old for probably 99% of the footballers, but not for him.
It just annoys me that Darcy's going to come back and he's going to lead this team. I know that's bad. He's a premiership captain and all that, but I just really want this to be Nick's team now.
I compared it to when Hodge took over from Sam Mitchell at Hawthorn, who was a premiership captain, but Hodge was better, and they made the change, and it seemed to work for him pretty well.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about Geordie?
Oh yeah, isn't I just think I sent you a text and a couple of other people a text saying how good is it a fit Jordan De Goey? What a difference that makes. He was Petrarca like, not in terms of, well, Petrarca was played more midfield the other night, but he did kick a lot of goals when he went forward. Yeah, he's our Petrarca, he's our Humphrey.
But he's
He's
not in our
such
top
a,
six players, though, Mick.
Oh, here we go. Well, it's hard to get a kick when you're in the stands, Dermot.
Okay, yeah.
How can you possibly be top six player if you don't play?
Okay, so I listened back to this when I was putting your short together, Mick.
Oh
And
yes, my shorts.
oh, here we go.
Oh yes. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for all the hard work you've done. The short only took you a week to get it out. Thank you, Dermot. He got it. He got my short out about 20 hours before the game started. Okay, from a week ago. He's been
Michael-
too busy cavorting with the likes of Swoop Luke to worry about his old uncle dad. Okay.
That was good to see all the Collingwood content creators in one place, wasn't it, Mick? Every single one.
I see. I didn't get a Guernsey.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, right.
No, Dermot said to me, no, you can't. It's only me. It's only me, Mike. It's only me. But yeah, I saw both guys on the rant on. But no, only one per pod said.
I don't want to cause any trouble, but Swoop said, I don't want the bald old man with the glasses on. Okay. If you haven't checked that out, go to Swoop Luke's channel and season predictions from all the Collingwood content creators except Mick.
Yeah, go to my short while you're at it. Probably old news
If you
by now.
want a shorter, but quicker, Mick, maybe do it yourself. Now I've lost my
But anyway,
train of thought.
back to my
Oh,
short.
sure. So
Top-
so when I
top
put the
six.
shorts together, I noticed, so you're talking about De Goey doesn't play, so he can't be top six. But yet you're more than happy to put Jeremy Howe in the top six. Please explain.
Yeah, I kind of reflected on that later on. But still, tradition. Yeah, it's a tough one to kind of worm my way out of. No, he didn't play much. Yeah,
Yeah. Not good, is it? See, I wish I called this
that
up
Swoop
on
Luke
time.
thing went well, didn't it? I thought went really well.
I wish I called you out of this on the time, but at that moment, that was when I was reading about
But I
Darcy
did-
Moore not being available, so I was distracted by the second half of your.
No, I did preface it by saying you could argue one or two of these. Like you can argue one or two of the bottom six.
Michael, the Goey's in our best six players.
But it's just an overall view of the top six. Would they get into the top six of top two or top four sides? They'd be struggling. Darcy Moore's not getting in there.
When the Goey's fit, he's in
when
most
he's-
top six
but-
in the comp.
Yeah, I know. But if freaking Sid Coventry was still fit, he'd get in the top six.
Well, he's had a full pre-season
you know.
and he's still going now, Geordie. So this could be it. I did tip him to be the surprise All-Australian. Looking at the CBA mix. So we had Nick Daicos at number 1 with 17. Harry Perryman doing the tagging job with 15. Ned Long, who was a little bit quiet. He only had the 13 disposals.
Yeah, he was very quiet. I
He had
thought.
9 tackles though, which was the leading amount of tackles.
How many
for Collingwood, so
disposals did he have? Sorry?
13.
Yeah,
And he
I was
had the
a bit- I was
13
a bit
CBAs.
I was a bit disappointed with his game. He got that great handball off to Steele for Steele's first goal of his career when he handballed into space, big 20-meter one. You remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yep,
one,
yeah. But other than that, I was disappointed, a little bit disappointed in his game.
Followed by McCreary with 9 CBAs. And then the Goey. That's where he is. With only the 7. So he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was our 5th banana in the midfield for CBAs.
He didn't play a lot of game time. Does he have game time?
No,
now?
well, that's a good point. I'll get the game time. So time on ground. I'll scroll right to the bottom.
Why are you getting to that?
I've got
the whole second quarter, I think he came on with a couple of minutes to go in the second quarter after such a great first quarter. I thought, what are they doing here? Is
He had
he
the
injured
third
again, or-
least amount of time on ground for Collingwood. So Pendles was 55% time on ground. Ed Allen 64. We'll talk about him a bit later. And then the Goey on 69. So
And why is that?
obviously plays a bit of well, they're probably just trying to ease him into the season. And they played it really well. I liked his mix between forward and in the midfield. And yeah, I think it was the second quarter, especially. Let's have a look at that. Was it the second quarter where we barely sighted him? 46% time on ground in the second quarter. So yeah, but I think he's better for the run, Geordie. That was 3 goals, 19 disposals from 69% time on ground. That's
Sorry, did you say how long was he on the ground in the second quarter? Did you say
46% time on ground.
really on the second quarter?
Yeah.
Gee, I didn't notice. I thought he only came on for a couple of minutes to go.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah. Another thing, so we put him alongside Dan Houston and Harry Perryman and these likes, and there's a little bit that's sort of adding up for us now, in terms of good change that we need, because we didn't get that at the trade period. So there were things that didn't go away, and I'm saving that to the end because you want to be positive, but I'm feeling like if we change those things that didn't quite go right last night and not sit on them, not wait for a loss before we change them, we're going to be a lot better than what people give us credit for. So Geordie's another huge tick. Tom De Koning, again, getting absolutely spanked by Darcy Cameron. Like, what the biggest waste of money in the AFL?
Well, yeah, it came as no surprise. What did come as a surprise is I said last week, I said, well, Buller's not going to be played for the role he was recruited for, or seemingly recruited for, and that was as a backup ruckman, because I expected Steen to play a fair bit of footy this year. Well, if they're not going to play him against St Kilda, who got two number one rucks, when are they going to play two rucks?
Well, DC's so good, he can just do it all on his own.
Yeah, maybe. And then Buller was hardly in there anyway. Well, how many centre bounces did he attend?
I think it was 4. I was just on there. I'm pretty sure it was 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't many. Didn't look great when he was in there either.
We'll talk about him a bit later. But
maybe we're not going to play the two rucks very often. Maybe Steen is there only purely as a backup if he's injury.
Darcy Cameron, though, like I tipped him to overtake Max Gawn and become the All-Australian ruckman this year. I think he's almost there. He's the best intercept ruckman in the competition. He has been for the last 3 years, and he's just getting better and better. He's even in front of the ball now. He's clunking marks. He's kicking goals. He's the complete package as a ruckman. And with these new ruck rules, his leap in the centre is a lot better than I thought it would be. A lot better. I think these ruck rules suit him perfectly.
And isn't he on about $900,000 less a year than TDK?
Yeah.
Good move, Saints.
It's not just a one-off. I think both times we played Carlton last year, it destroyed TDK.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
No, he's a gun.
But even then, he was on half as much as TDK. At that, the first game, I think he was on. He's had a contract extension since, but he's like on $400,000 a year, and De Koning was on about 800. But playing on potential.
What do you think of Bo's game?
Has he got a left foot? Bo?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Explain.
Just quite often when he's clearly on his left foot, he goes out of his way to kick on his right, like that goal we missed in the last quarter, where it was just a snapper across his body on his left side, went for the outside of the right foot and missed. Remember that goal? 20 metres out, dead in front would have been the
I don't actually.
But look. Played the normal Bo game. I think he might have got a couple more possessions than normal.
16 disposals, 2 goals, 1.
Yeah, normally
went for a few nice runs as he does.
Yeah. Normally gets his 10 to 12, but pushed into the mid-teens.
9 CBAs, so he's around. That's probably
I think this is like we hold out hope that he's going to be this midfielder who's capable of getting 20, 25 possessions. I just don't know if he's that type of player.
No.
And then that's okay. Like, there's been a lot of great players in the past who have been purely impact players. Impact players often win you premierships, often win you big finals. So it's not... He could just be that player. He could just be an impact player.
Keep in mind that he had no preseason, basically. He played both of the preseason matches.
But he's been around for about 3 or 4 years now, and he's still the same type of player as he was 3 or 4 years ago. 10 to 12 possessions, big run down the wing, the odd goal here or there, great tackling. I'm not saying he can't do it, because as you said, he did miss a lot of preseason, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just continued to be this player, which is fine. He'll win us the odd finals game. He's the type of guy who will do that.
All right, we've been too positive, Mick. We've been too positive. Let's get a little bit negative. So it wasn't all amazing. on last night. We only won by a couple of goals, so there
Yeah, like I
are
say.
some negatives to take out of
Oh
it.
yeah, there's a lot of negatives.
Do you want to talk about the obvious negative and
Well, I think
the three tall forwards?
yeah, the three tall forwards. Yeah, yeah, I knew what you were talking about, but there's other ones as well, like
Oh yeah,
the tall backs. Had we been playing against a side with more established key position forwards, we might have been in a heap of trouble.
yeah. But the thing
But
about the key defenders is we're going to get them back. We're going to get Darcy Moore and all that back, and
oh,
we knew
doesn't it? We're getting Darcy Moore back. Thank God.
it's better than nothing.
He's
It's
better,
just
our captain's better than nothing.
we knew that was an issue. We've known the whole preseason that if we get one or two
Yeah.
injuries in the back line, we're fucked. So it's not exactly news. It's
No.
once again awful list management. We're
awful
lucky we
list
came up against St Kilda that don't really have a tall forward. Next week against Adelaide, that's a test.
Yeah.
If Darcy Moore's not back, and Billy Frampton has to look after Phil Thorpe, Tex, and Fogarty on his own, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like Darcy, you bag out Darcy, but he was the difference in that qualifying final.
Oh yeah, he's the type of, but his inconsistency, especially for a captain, his inconsistencies are worry. Like he can put in the odd great game, and then it's interspread with four shockers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like he's just not he hasn't got that level of consistency.
But we need him still.
Especially,
Desperately.
yeah, we do. Well,
We
he's
desperately
obviously-
need him. Yeah.
yeah, we do. But I don't think he's got all the answers, Darcy. But anyway, you were alluding to the forward line, and
the
yes, I
forwards.
totally agree. Buller, I hate the expression a mulligan. It's such a bogan too, but I'm going to give him a mulligan because it was his first game. He came across as nervous. He obviously wanted to do well. So yeah, a few shockers. His positioning, his kicking when he got the ball. A few times he got the ball. He attacked the ball nicely a couple of times. I noticed in the third quarter, but McStay is the worry. How long do we have to wait until McStay consistently impacts a game? And I don't think Jamie Elliott likes having him down there.
No, well, I was
Jamie
gonna
Elliott didn't look near it. He just looked out of sorts.
he's the other story, Jamie Elliott.
Yeah, he does. Elliott beautifully. If you remember a review from last year where I compared and contrast Elliott's game with and without McStay, and how significantly better it was without McStay, and how overall as a team it was better for the team.
Can I just ask you,
Have Elliott up there by himself?
has it got something to do with McStay, or has it just got something to do with the fact that it's the three talls? Because when McStay missed, we only went with the two talls. So
Yeah. Maybe it's the three, and Membry up there. So you got Membry, McStay, Buller, and Elliott. It's a bit much.
but the
It's
McStay
slow.
and Membry and Buller, they're just not that good. They're just
they're
not
not
that
that
good. So I would understand if you had two gun key forwards and another serviceable guy. I like the three talls. Watching last night, it just made me think, what's the point of having three talls up there when none of them are great? And Jamie Elliott was quite poor last night. And it's like you just said, it takes away from his game. Jamie Elliott should be playing out of the square.
Yeah,
Like we should be going with two talls. We should be going with Jamie Elliott out of the square, DeGoey resting down there, Nick resting down there if he needs it. He could run all day, so maybe not. And then instead of going a Buller or a McStay as the second ruck, have an Oscar Steen there and playing 50% of the game, sit him on the bench the other 50%. Because as we saw, we had three guys that had really low time on ground last night. So there's no reason why that can't be Oscar Steen that has really low time on ground. They were shocking. All three of them were shocking. Membry was bad too.
we just looked too slow up there. And also, but on another point, the ball movement, and I've heard them talk about this post game, trying to get the balance between going slow, all those uncontested marks they had, especially in the first half, as opposed to the time going fast. I don't think we did our forward line any favors in the first half with how we're chipping it up there. How many uncontested marks did we take? And I know there was a reason behind that. They wanted to get that balance right because apparently, the Saints defenders pushed right back, so they wanted to take that ground. But yeah, I'm not sure if they got that balance right. That was a gold sack since he's come to the club. He's implemented that apparently. So
Actually, that was a point that I wanted to make.
Coach.
Can we just go right back, and we'll get back to the key forwards in a second because he just touched on Goldsack. I didn't watch Channel 7, but I saw a clip from 7 afterwards, and they were interviewing Dan Houston. and he was talking up Goldsack and what he's been able to do for Collingwood since he's been here in the season, but his game in particular. And his Goldsack came across from Port Adelaide, of course.
Yeah.
So, of course, Goldsack was coaching Houston over there. So they've already got that existing relationship. So I wonder if Goldie's come in and seen the way they were using him and said, what are we doing here, guys? Like, so
Slapped McRae around a couple of times, poked him in the eye, Three Stooges style.
So Goldsack, in a way, he could be the recruiter of the year, Tyson Goldsack.
Yeah, mate, there could be something to that. Yeah.
Jack Buller. I'll touch on him before I we've seen a lot of Dan McStay and Tim Membry over the last couple of years. We know about them, but Buller, there's question marks. Like, was it nerves or is he just shit house? It's as simple as that.
I think.
I'm asking the question. I'm not saying he is.
Yeah, no,
shit-house,
I'm giving the answer. I think it was nerves. I think there was a lot of nerves there.
We've actually grabbed a lot of tall Sydney players over the years, and I was really hopeful that he could be our next Darcy Cameron, not in terms of a number one ruck, but in terms of getting him for cheap and being this gun player. Unfortunately, I'm getting more Jesse White vibes than Darcy Cameron.
It's been one game.
One game that I was not impressed with was.
Oh no, and he wasn't impressive. But
Dan McStay.
He's got a long way to match Jesse White.
Yeah. But Dan McStay lost his shit with him in that second or third quarter. Why was he running into the back of McStay? McStay was going back with the flight, was going to take the mark.
He should have protected him.
Yeah, should have protected, and he just barges into the back of him. And to me, that just screamed a guy that was thinking about himself, wanted to take the mark, wanted to get on the scoreboard, wanted to kick off his Collingwood career in style, not doing the team thing. And that, to me, was the biggest concern for Jack Buller. I didn't like that.
Oh, yeah, but first game, nerves.
We need to get rid of one. I'm sorry, we need to get it's not Buller, because you've got to keep on going with Buller and give him a fair chance. You've got to get rid of one of Membry or McStay.
Well, get rid of them, or like we've talked about before, we talked last year about McStay maybe going back, and he did go back. I saw him in the back line at one point, dropping a mark.
Yeah, there was a little dropping a mark.
Dropping a mark, which resulted in a goal. So maybe not. But next week with their three talls, and if Darcy Moore's back, or even if he isn't back, even if he is back, maybe he's still setting McStay back, but I don't think they will.
Did we talk much this preseason about McStay playing defence? Because I know we touched on it a lot last year, so it's a bit strange that we didn't talk about it much, seeing as though our key defender.
I think we lost a lot of confidence in McStay just playing full stop.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. But
yeah.
We got to give him more than 1 week, especially because we won. But at some point, do we just drop them both, Membry and McStay, and bring in Charlie West, go West, Buller, Steen as that second ruck, 50% time on ground, and then go with the mediums like DeGoey and Elliott and those types. So our small and medium players are the damaging guys up front, not these guys. Charlie West can't go any worse than these guys.
No, but remember, he still kicked his close to 30 goals last year. He's the type of guy who can impact with very few possessions.
Yeah.
He can kick his 2 goals from 5 possessions. I know what you're saying there. But he does a lot of work off the ball, I'm told, which is not something you can always pick up on the tally. I think he's a bit ahead of McStay. For the last year, he's been ahead of McStay. And the last year's form, he's ahead of McStay. But I think we can't go with all of them. Not in the forward line, especially. Like I said, maybe McStay back, because we're just so short on backs.
But we will, because we kept on going with the triple M's last year. We kept on going all year. And, the boys in the Collingwood rant were big on this. It just doesn't work. And it takes away from Jamie Elliott. Jamie Elliott's best performances was when he was the main guy. And so we're going to continue to do it, aren't we? We're going to have those 3 talls, and it's just going to take away from Jamie. And I say we won the game, so they're going to be looking at this as we don't need to change anything. But we can still learn. We can still learn. We got the 4 points, and let's learn from the things that we got wrong and make changes before. Why do we need to lose games before we start changing things?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, totally agree.
Hmm.
I totally agree because based on our form last night, I think most sides would have beaten us.
Oh,
But
no, that's unfair.
oh no,
I think
I
we were
think it is.
quite good
Well, I'm
last
sorry.
night.
When I say most sides, certainly the top sides would have beaten us. Like
I think that's unfair. I think
the
St
top
Kilda
six.
aren't a bad team. I think that's
Oh no,
unfair.
but we. I don't think. I think St Kilda beat themselves to a
I, th-
large degree last
I
night.
think we were decent last night. Were we
Yeah,
absolutely amazing? No, but we were
no,
decent.
I think they could have put us to the sword, and just through lack of composure, they weren't able to. So we kind of, you know, we're at their mercy a little bit. It wasn't through our good play or through their poor play, I thought. We played well in patches. Yeah, yeah.
Um, Someone that you touched on very early in this podcast and said that you think that he could still be a run with player, that you still think he's got it. I I don't share that opinion, and that's side bottom. I saw signs of he him and Crisp were the two over 30s that I was most worried about going into this year. I'm feeling a bit better about Jack Crisp after his performance last night, especially now he's got a defined role in the back line. Side bottom, nah. I'm really worried about the guy. I've been worried about the guy in the past, and he's proven me wrong. So hopefully he does that again. But I'm just not sure what his role is in this team at the moment. He didn't play forward, well, not a lot of time forward, which we both believe he should. He had 4 CBAs. Was he on the wing? I don't honestly, I don't know what he did because he just didn't play a very important part for us last night. Um, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time if he keeps his form up before he falls out. What did you think of his game?
Uh, yeah, no, it was very, very average to poor. Um, yeah, what more can you say? It
So
wasn't a big contributor. What did he get stat wise?
15,
Mid
which is a little bit
teens.
more than
Yeah,
I thought. But
yeah,
I'm looking
15.
I'm looking at his heat map,
Mm,
and he got 60% of his disposals in the defensive half,
mm,
40% in the offensive half. It's just sort of
yeah,
spread out everywhere.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
looks like
Uh,
maybe a
I think
wing
he comes
role.
under the conversation of restructuring the forward line and him being part of that restructure. Him out, give us a bit more ground level skill, and one of the tools out. Sorry, him in. That's what I said. Him in. One of the tools out, because he's so smart around goals. But
Let's
yeah,
pop,
you only need to get it. You only need to get his hands on the ball 7 or 8 times up there, and he's going to make an impact.
Mick. Let's play a very famous game.
Oh, you're not going to do stocks up, stocks
Stocks
down.
up, stocks
I don't know.
down.
I don't know if
Just
I
for
like
three
it.
players. Just for three
I get
players.
mixed up with socks and stocks, and I just don't like it.
It's become a tradition in the last
Uh,
3 weeks. No, because there's just three guys I want to talk about. They're three young guys that
Alan
pushed their way into the
stocks
team.
down.
Oh,
I'll just preempting it. Parker, hold, and who's the other one?
Steele. Rowan Steele.
Steal up. But we'll go through it in more detail if you like.
Well, okay. So you said down for Ed Allen. Explain
Down
why.
for Ed Allen. He's, well, I feel for him a little bit because he's not playing his role. He
Hmm.
wasn't inside. He was outside again. He's primarily an inside midfielder, and they're not playing him there. Um, so take that into account. But his disposal was pretty poor when he did get it. What was his stats? I don't
Um,
think.
okay. So
I know he didn't have a lot of game
Ed
time.
Allen, 10 disposals.
Jeez.
At 70% disposal efficiency.
Oh, really? Up to 70%?
Yeah, only the
Must have
10.
just been
Yeah.
a couple that really stood out to me.
He was 64% time on ground, second lowest for
Yeah.
Collingwood,
There, there,
playing
there was
mainly
there was a
wing.
there was a passage of play in the first quarter with Parker and Ed Allen late in the first quarter, I think it was, on the wing, where they were handballing to each other, and they just both were stuffing up the handballs, fumbling. So there was he was
So
a bit he was a bit fumbly, Ed Allen.
can I just say, so looking
Yeah.
at these CBAs again, I love my CBAs because it does tell a bit of a story. You got side bottom 4 CBAs, Jack Crisp 1, and Pat Lipinski 1. If you take away those 6 CBAs between those three guys, then that could be 6 CBAs you give to Ed Allen to give him a bit more of an
Yeah.
opportunity in there. He had 0, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he should be in there before Chris Lipinski, especially,
Well,
and
Lipinski,
start bottom.
I spent much of my night last night battering away Lipinski criticism um, from Uncle Jerry from Sleepy Hollow. So he's right on him.
Mm.
What did you? Is he going to be one that stocks up, stocks down?
No, I
At
wasn't even
Alan?
going to talk about him. Do you want to
Lipinski?
speak about Lipinski, do
Yeah. Look, the point I keep on making that I'm starting to struggle with myself accepting is that when the side is playing well and humming, he's a really good player to have in the side because he finishes so well. You got him on the outside, he can deliver well into the forward 50. But when we're playing poorly, he does nothing to raise us.
you?
He's not going to be the guy who gets us back on track.
Mm.
So
I don't think he was bad
yeah,
last night. He wasn't great, but he was about 21 disposals.
21 disposals, yeah.
He's had worse games,
And,
Lipinski. I get your point. Like he's always just in or just out of my best 23 whenever I announce it. So
yeah, there was a contest on the wing, a marking contest, one out. I think it was it the third quarter? Yeah, it was third quarter, and he was just didn't seem to compete hard enough. I've only seen it once, but it was brought to my attention. Yeah, it didn't seem to compete hard enough in the air. They took it forward and at least had a shot on goal, and if not kicked a goal. Yeah, just because he didn't take body in the marking contest. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. So he's like I said, he's bottom six.
mm.
Lipinski, bottom six
Yeah.
player.
So Ed Allen, would you keep on going with him? You got it. You got to get
Yes.
64%
No,
time on the ground
definitely,
isn't a
definitely.
lot. Yeah.
Look,
And
we
give him those 6 CBAs instead of giving them to
yeah.
those three guys. Like, come on.
I'm not sure how many young guys we have who are ready to take the step up into senior football, but Allen and Parker are two guys who could conceivably do it, and I think we need to sort them out this year, whether they've got it or not.
Parker
We need to give them opportunity, whether they've got it or not.
Parker played.
Parker, he was okay last night.
He had some really ordinary moments, I think, Parker, but he also had some really good
Yeah,
moments to balance it out.
yeah. Well,
He played very defensively last night.
he was pretty fumbly at times.
He was.
But there was one occasion early in the last quarter where he's fumbled a ball in their forward line, our back line, and it looked like it was going to get out into space behind him, and he's quickly spun around and knocked it back out with his fist.
I remember.
Yeah. And that was good composure. Having been a bit fumbly, he was able to compose himself and still impact positively, which was good. But yeah, those guys, Ed Allen and Parker, I just think you need to give them plenty of opportunity this year, and let's see if they're up to it or not. Because they could be our players for years to come.
Did you say stocks up for Rowan Steele?
Still, yeah, I thought he was okay. Well, there's not.
He
Sorry,
kicked a
the
nice
eye
goal.
test.
He kicked a nice goal, but he had the 11 disposals playing on a wing.
Yeah.
He didn't get involved. Other than that goal, he just wasn't getting involved.
Okay, maybe I was being generous. Oh, maybe it was a case of when he did get those 11 possessions, we got a percentage he went at.
91%.
Yeah, but maybe that was it. Maybe it was.
He's a very neat player. He just needs to get involved.
Yeah.
But there is the hot wing and the cold wing. He may have just been on the cold wing. It ebbs and flows with wingmen. But those three guys, they all play next week. You got to keep on sticking with them. For me, the change. What? Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. What changes very early, because this is the day after this game. So it's Monday, March 9 at 9:26 a.m. So assuming there's no injuries from here on in and Darcy Moore is right to go, what are you doing with the team? Moore comes back in. Is it basically more in for? I think. Well, I'm going to go. If our listeners listened last week and saw my 23, they'll know that I actually had Darcy Moore in my original side before he was confirmed out, and I knocked him out for Pat Lipinski, and I basically just moved the magnets around. I would do the same thing there. I would bring him in for Pat Lipinski, move the magnets around, and because we're obviously very, very short anyway, and we'll still, if anything, still be undersized even with Darcy Moore there because they got such a tall forward line. Lipinski falls out. I give Parker and Steele and Allen one last go, and I'm getting rid of those three tall forwards. I'm getting rid of one of McStay or Membry, and I'm bringing in Oscar Steen as the second ruck, and I'm playing in 50% game time, and that would be my
Yeah.
two changes.
Well, a question we've had noticed, but I'd more obviously back in to take Text Frampton on Phil Thorpe,
Maynard and Fogarty.
Maynard on Fogarty, and then in the forward line, gee, I would just about drop McStay only over Buller, only because Buller, it looks like he's our preferred second ruck, and I'd go a bit smaller in the forward line.
So you're not bringing in Steen?
Well, I'm just thinking who have Adelaide got as their ruckman? They've
got Big Lockie McAndrew. All the fantasy and super coach people out there were well aware that McAndrew's taken over Riley O'Brien. So
no wonder I couldn't picture who it was. So if they're not playing two rucks against St Kilda with TDK and Marshall, I don't think they're playing two rucks next week.
That's a very good point. I'll change my answer then. That's a really good point that you've made, Mick. About time, 3 years and you've made one. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm bringing Darcy.
No wonder I didn't get him Swoop Luke's thing last week.
I'm leaving Pat Lipinski then. I'm just straight swap more in for one of Membry and McStay and shuffle the magnets around. I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Membry or McStay. Yeah, I'd probably go Membry. Keep Membry.
I mean, basing it off the last game, Buller deserves to get dropped more than those two, but you just can't after one game.
He can't, and also because he does give us that second ruck option, or better option in the ruck as a second ruck to give Cameron, three or four centre bounce rests. So yeah, that's what I'd do, and side bottom as the forward.
With those guys, with a key forward moving out, we're going to need a small up there. I think it's definitely side bottom. Another good point, Mick. 2.
I'll retire on top.
Very quickly. Actually, a tip. We always forget. Let's try and remember our tips this year. Collingwood Adelaide
next week. Pies. Pies. It's at the MCG, isn't it?
MCG.
Yep.
It's always close against the Crows.
Yeah, it is. They play well there. Pies by...
They have a lot of injuries.
9 points.
Yeah, Pies by... I said Pies by 15 against St Kilda. I'm going to say Pies by 15 against Adelaide. 15 is going to be my number. Very quickly before we wrap this pod up, a few little things I want to touch on. Harris Andrews, 3-week suspension, and rightly so. Very out of character. Very, very, very out of character. But it means he misses the Collingwood clash, which is huge.
Unless they appeal it.
Yep, that is right. So I just wanted to touch on that quickly. The master coaches, Chris Scott and Sam Mitchell, were showing up on the weekends. That was quite funny. Although, I have a theory that Buck's being in the Geelong box is our sort of sabotaging them, which is a bit like what Mick did to Carlton. So that's that makes me happy, especially because Scott and Sam Mitchell are the ones that picked Lockie Ash over Nick Daicos in the State of Origin. So calm as a bitch. And I just wanted to end this podcast laughing at both the Carlton Football Club and Ollie Henry.
Yes. We finishing already? I've got things to say.
All right. Well, that's it for me.
Okay.
You end the pod the way you want then, Mick.
No, there's a couple of points. The 50-metre rule, it's out of control. Nobody knows what's going on. Like, the players are expected to know exactly where the mark is. If they have a slightly different interpretation, because they're coming in at a different angle or from a different distance to what the umpires believe where the mark is, they get pinned straight away. So are they supposed to be able to read the umpire's mind?
Yeah.
So some of these guys are a metre off the mark, either forward or sidewards, and it's just out of control.
It's a joke. I agree.
Yeah, it's all over the place. What have we got? I saw that McRae made comment about the Copeland Trophy again last night.
In fact, he was asked. He was asked about it.
No, but he was asked about Daicos' game and whether he'll get the 3 votes in the Copeland. And he could have just played a straight bat. Yeah, he played a great game, didn't he? That's a standard of which he brings, blah, 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 blah. He could have said a million things. But again, he re-emphasised the point. We're changing the voting system, which disrespectful to Cameron, who won the award. It's basically saying, not for the first time, I don't believe, as coach, he's saying, I don't believe this guy should have won the Copeland. That's disrespectful. Secondly, it puts more pressure again on Nick, because John Rolfe is already classed it as the Daicos rule.
Safe spaces.
Well, yeah, we'll get to safe space in a moment. And also, so senior members of the club, McRae is putting pressure on Nick that he doesn't need, and Eddie Maguire, who's no longer holds an official capacity down there, but him coming out a couple of weeks ago saying he's going to strike a medal for the E.J. Whitten medal for Nick. Leave Nick alone. He's got enough focus on him. He doesn't need this focus.
Do you know that Craig McRae actually came out a few weeks ago and said, and this is exactly what I said on one of our late podcasts last year, that I always talk about how Fly says we need to get better, that everybody, we can improve, I can improve, this can improve, we're not perfect, let's get better every day. And I think it might have been our last podcast last year, saying for the first time in Craig McRae's coaching career at Collingwood, he can get better at a few things. He let himself down on a few occasions last year. And he actually came out a few weeks ago and said that. He said he reflected over the preseason. He was disappointed in a few of his comments. I think he mentioned Jack Silvani. He mentioned the Brownlow with Matt Rao and Daicos, and the Copeland with Darcy Cameron and Nick Daicos. And he said, I've learned from that. I was disappointed. He said, I didn't mean it anyway, but I can understand why I came across as that. So he'll work on that. And then I'm not sure if it's quite as bad as what you're saying, but you think that he might have just not even wanted to touch it, seeing as though he was aware that he shouldn't have made comment on all that stuff last year. But yeah.
Yeah. A shout out. I'd like to send a shout out.
We don't do shout outs, Mick.
Yeah, no, well, apparently we are today. And I'll say this, now keep in mind, this is my safe space John Rolfe style, okay? Where I can't be challenged and I can't learn anything. You can't learn anything in your safe space. This is because I say with a sense of trepidation, because you have got a propensity to go all Stuart McGill on me occasionally.
Wasn't that fucking ridiculous?
Dermot is the Stuart McGill of the Into the Woods podcast.
And the apology video was even more awkward.
Oh, it's hilarious. If anybody hasn't seen it, they must have seen. Everybody's seen. The whole world's seen it. But go and have a look at Stuart McGill.
What's worse, Stuart McGill and Menners? Is that his name? Menners?
Yeah. What's the name of the podcast? I only know about it because of this instance.
It's even what's worse, that or Kyle and Jackie O.
Oh, but a shout out to GD on Apple who gave us a review.
I know this,
and has called Dermot out. I've got
a few things I need to say about this.
For silencing and discrediting me, and both GD and I believe it's a form of elder abuse.
Do you actually have the full?
No, I don't have the full
review.
But he called you out for silencing and discrediting me.
Let me say this. So, what's his name again?
GD
on Apple Podcast. So if you're listening,
Apple Podcast,
I need to ask this guy a question. So if you're listening, please write us another review and answer this, GD. So you say that I discredit Michael and blah blah blah,
silence me as well,
silence you and all this, and then he finds you, whatever he said. I can't remember what he said. Interesting or insightful or whatever it was.
Really good.
Great. Fair. If that's your opinion,
I think you used the term Michael's really good.
He said Michael's the star of the show. That's fair enough. If that's your beliefs, fair enough. We're all allowed to have an opinion, even if it's wrong occasionally. But he then goes on to say in the same thing that he loves our show. It's his go-to Collingwood podcast, so thanks, mate. And he loves our dynamic. Well, that's our dynamic, me doing that to you. So I'm getting mixed signals here. Do you want me to stop silencing him? Or do you want me to respect him, which will then be the end of our dynamic?
Don't question.
What do you want, mate? What do you want?
Don't question. GD's a mystery wrapped in a riddle.
What does he want? What do you want from me, mate? Please comment and tell me. I'm open to this.
There you go. And finally, if I can just say finally, have you noticed there's more tinsel on footy shorts these days than there are at a 3-year-old's princess party? Have you noticed all the tinsel, the reflective tinsel on all the shorts and all the clubs?
No,
you haven't noticed?
I have not noticed.
There's a sparkly tinsel down the side of each side of the shorts. where the cameras or the lights reflect off it. And just this little, you have a look.
Is this worth bringing up? What the?
Oh, I'm just thinking, is it a 3-year-old princess party? Well,
GD, is this honestly the guy that you like? The guy that you want to listen to?
No, he didn't bring that up. I'm bringing it up.
No, that's what I'm saying. He looks up to you, and this is what you're bringing. This is why I silence him.
That's good stuff, GD.
GD.
Yeah,
Is that it,
that's
Mick?
all I've got. That's all I've got. Yeah. Oh, did you see the guy? Oh, Touch of the Macabre.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
One of my favourite ever stories that I'd forgotten about. It happened in the early 90s, but I saw it the other day on X, I think it was. Is the guy who killed his in-laws? Sorry, probably not funny, but out of context it is. Killed his in-laws and then reported himself to the cops because he claimed he was sleepwalking. Like, who amongst us hasn't slaughtered their in-laws and then claimed to have been sleepwalking? Who amongst us? But I thought that was very bold of very bold of him. Killed my in-laws off sleepwalking. Got off.
Radio. Thanks for listening. We look forward to doing it again next week. See ya.